Hello students, a very good morning. So students, in last class we were discussing about the thermal properties of matter, and up to the things we have discussed about a lot of topics in that one, like temperature scale, temperature, heat, and how the state is changing, pressure temperature diagram we have seen, and after that even anomalous behavior we have seen, expansion, these all things we have seen, molar specifications and all. So I think you can see now again your chapter is very lengthy, but in this chapter one by one very important topics that are here to discuss about the matter and their thermal properties. So in thermal behavior, the next topic that we are going to discuss today, that is the topic of thermal conductivity. And in the case of thermal conductivity, one more thing we will discuss, that is the concept of first of all transfer of heat. So as in last class, a brief description about the transfer of heat that we have given, I have given to you. Like we can transfer the heat by three methods. So first method is called conduction, the second is called convection, and the third one is called radiation. So first is conduction, second is convection, and the third one is called radiation. Now let's see one by one all these three types of heat transfer processes. The first process, conduction, here these processes normally obtained in solid. So in solid we know that solid is made up of large number of atoms and molecules that, and they are arranged in a regular array, means and their intermolecular separation, that is very small for the solid. So if a number of molecules we can see, if they are arranged in such a way, then we can see now the intermolecular separation between since molecules or atoms or ions, that is very small. So whenever heat that will be transferred to first body, so then that time in conduction process what it is going on, so heat that is transferred to the first one. After getting heat, this first molecule that starts to oscillate, because whenever the heat will be supplied to it, its internal energy will change. So internal energy that will change, that will be converted into kinetic energy, and due to its kinetic energy it will starts to go in motion, and for the motion whenever it will leave the position, then that time due to its elasticity, its position changing property, it will be opposed by elasticity, and a restoring force start to act on it. So due to that one again, and due to the state of motion, inertia will play an active role. So and overall, due to the combined effect of inertia and elasticity, system or particle will start to be in oscillation. Later, very in detail, we will see oscillation in chapter. But here, in this case only, I think a brief about the oscillation is now clear. So it means that this particle will start to oscillate about its mean or equilibrium position. So whenever it will oscillate, it will collide with the second one particle, because their interatomic separation that is very small. So if it will collide with the second one, it will transfer its heat or its energy in the collision process, and due to that one, if as this heat is transferred to the second one, again the second one will do the same procedure as the first one has done, then it will again transfer the second one. Similarly, you can see due to the oscillation that is produced because of the transfer of heat, then that is, we can see now finally heat is transferred from first end to last end even without any change in state. So we can also understand it by one example. Suppose in a row number of students are sitting, and we have to just pass the ball from the first student to last student. First student has kept a ball in his hand, it has to send the last student. Then there are three methods to send that, and according to that three method we can understand these three processes. The first method, the ball that is passed to each adjacent student, means the first student will pass it to the second one is passing to the third, and so on, and continuously whenever it will be passed, then that time the last one this will get the ball ultimately. So this is the way in which conduction process is working. Means every individual particle, intervening particle is participating here to transfer the heat, and one by one the heat is transferred from one atom to another atom, or one molecule to another molecule. So this kind of system of the transfer of heat is known as conduction. So this is possible only in solid systems. Now the second type of system here through which we can transfer the heat energy, that is called convection. So convection, to understand it, again come to our example where we are taking the example of the students that are sitting in a row. So in that example, there is one more possibility to send the ball to the last students without any interfering with intervening students. Means only the first and last student will be the part of this activity, not other students. First students will just move from his place and he will go to the last one. He will transfer or he will give the ball to the last student. So ball will again go to the last student. So in this way, heat is, you can say, the heat transfer process means first student will go, it will give the ball to the last student will come to the position of first student. Again A will go and it will go give the ball to the last student. So in this way, we can see now convection process is what? In this process, heat that is taken by the atom, after taking the heat, it leaves its position, and other particle that is coming to again acquire its position, again it will take heat, then it will leave the position. So this kind of situation we are observing even in fluid systems, like in liquid system and in gaseous systems, we are obtaining convection process. Wind is also, that is a example of convection process. Monsoon we are seeing, that is also the example of convection process. As well as with this one, we are cooking rice at home. We can see even whenever we are supplying heat to the bottom, but all of the rice that can be cooked easily. So due to convection process, because water molecules, they are taking energy, the downward bottom water molecule is taking energy. After taking it, are leaving their position, and then again molecules that haven't taken energy, they are coming to their place, they are leaving after that taking energy. So this is now convection process. I think that is clear. Next one, after this one, in convection process, as it is clear. Also, if one more example you will see, that is you can see in daytime or in night time, we can see sea breezes. So sea breezes are what? In daytime we can see how the sea breezes, they are moving. So in daytime, as the air current that is being dry, so the dry air that is going towards the sea, and cool air that is coming from the sea. So in this way, a breeze form is created, means you can say the air that's density becomes low, that is going, that become lighter, that going up. So to get their place, and the high dense fluid that is coming and it is taking its place. So that time we are calling, there is flowing the wind. So it means that wind system that is created due to convection process, because ultimately the system, you know, that surface that is very hot in daytime. So due to hotness of the surface, the air that is in contact with the surface, they get heated easily. So due to heating effect, they are going up, and the cold air that is coming down. So again, cold air is taking heat, that is going up. So that's why you can feel even in evening you are feeling more hot than the afternoon time. Reason is that even till that time, not whole of the air is heated up, but even till the evening whole air can be heated. So that's why atmosphere becomes very warm that time, and sometimes due to that one we are seeing rains, that is even in our summer season. So this is all now the examples of convection, that is clear. Now let's see the last one, that is radiation process. So radiation process is now what? This is the for this process, first again come to our example. So example was we were taking some students in the row. So we have to just send ball from first student to last student. So there is another method to send ball from first to last student. Directly the first student, without leaving his position, if he will throw the ball and directly that ball is catched by the last student, then even all the particle, other intervening medium doesn't participate in that one. Even the first and last one doesn't leave their position, but ball is raised from one point to another point. So similarly, whenever heat is transferred without any medium, without even movement of any kind of particle from one place to another place, then this kind of heat transfer is known as radiation. Like for example of this, solar energy that is coming at from the space, that is coming through the case of radiation. So I think this is all heat transfer of heat. This situation is now clear to you. Means you can see even in the both two cases, conduction and convection, we need always some material medium to propagate through that. Heat can be propagated through them, but in radiation we don't need any kind of medium there. Now after this, let's come to our topic of thermal conductivity. So thermal conductivity is what? So thermal conductivity is the of a solid is a measure of ability of the solid to transfer the heat. It means that, or conduct the heat, simple, means how much heat it can pass through it, that is known as their thermal conductivity. So if any body that is not allowing heat to pass through them, then that is not good conductor of the thermal energy. Like for example, if you will see the example of glass, wood. So you have seen glass, wood, they are all not passing heat through them, means we cannot get the heat transfer from them. So these are a bad conductor of the heat. But for example, you can see the like iron, you can see copper, silver. So these are very good conductor of heat. Now next one, if you will see, while heat transfer in conducts through the conduction process, one by one heat is transferred from one position to another. So we can see now at one point heat becomes higher than the other point. So always whenever the heat transfer takes place, system is in variable temperature state or variable state. So thermal conductivity always just established in a direction from higher temperature to lower temperature, means heat transfer takes from higher temperature to lower temperature. And if there is the temperature difference that is created at two ends and the heat can be transferred through them easily, then it means that that body is good conductor. So let's now write down the expression. How can we understand whether our system is good conductor of heat or not? So for that one, to define just here we are using a constant to define it, that is called coefficient of thermal conductivity, or we are also calling it the thermal conduction coefficient. So for that case we define a new constant. That new constant is known as the coefficient of thermal conduction or thermal conductivity. So let's see now how can we define it. So to define it, what we will do, we will consider a rectangular bar of solid that is in steady state. So let two opposite faces of the section of the rod is maintained at a temperature difference of delta T. So for example, we have a rectangular bar. So this type, this is our rectangular bar. We can take it of some of the thickness. You can also give it to. So let's just give it some thickness. So this type of suppose rectangular bar you have. I think some of the things I need it. Now you can see this is just like a slab we have. Now in this slab side, what we are going to see, we are going to take this face and this face. So let's their cross sectional area or area of this face is capital A, and that is as mentioned here, that is maintained at the temperature difference T delta T. So suppose the temperature of this face, that is T, temperature of this face, that is T plus delta T because the temperature difference is delta T here. Now obviously you know the heat is transferring from higher to lower temperature, so it means a heat Q that will be transferred from it. And for example, suppose the heat that will transfer from here to here, this is now delta X. Now what is the delta X, all these things you know. So heat that will be conducted from higher to lower temperature. So let delta Q heat, that is a very small amount of heat conducted through the solid in some time delta T. So the rate of conduction of heat, that will be rate of heat conduction. This will be equal to now rate of change of heat. So this is delta Q by delta T, and as T we have taken for temperature, so let's see, take it in by small letters. Now next one, after that, it is found that this rate, that is delta Q by delta T, this rate experimentally it has been found that it is first directly proportional to the area of cross section of the face. The first thing on which it is depending on this delta Q by delta T, this is depending on area of the cube. Means greater will be the area of the cube rectangular bar, then greater will be the heat transfer through it per second. Now the second factor, that is the rate of heat transfer, that is directly proportional to the temperature difference between the two faces. So it means the second factor, that is delta Q by delta T, this factor is directly proportional to now delta T from here. Now the third factor, let's see. Third factor is given, that is it is inversely proportional to the distance delta X between the two faces. Means if two faces that will be being is at a smaller distance, greater heat will be transferred, but whenever this distance will be changed, then heat transfer will become slow, or that will become low. So it means that this is delta Q by delta T. This is inversely proportional to 1 upon delta X from here. Now on these three factors, this heat transfer, that is depending on. So let's now just solve this one. So if we will solve this expression, then finally delta Q by delta T, this will be the directly proportional A delta T upon delta X from here. We can see now. Now we can remove the proportionality from here. So it will give you a constraint. So delta Q by delta T, this will be equal to some Ka delta T upon delta X from here, that we will get now from here. After that, here this K that you are seeing here, this K is now known as coefficient of first proportionality constraint, or also we are calling it coefficient of thermal conduction. So it means that it is simple thermal conductivity, or coefficient of thermal conductivity we are calling to it. So that is, I think, clear, and that is defined us, or that is telling us about whether the body is of a good conductor of heat or bad conductor of heat. So if K will have higher value, it will be a good conductor of heat, but if it will have the lower values, smaller values, and that is showing that it is bad conductor of heat. So we can easily understand that one. After this one, students, let's see now the next one, that is where we are using the knowledge of the conductivity in our daily life. So application of conductivity in daily life, let's see that one. So the first application, there we are using the cooking utensils are provided with wooden handles. So the reason is that the cooking wares that we are using, that is made up of the good conductor of heat. So if they are of good conductor of heat, heat can be easily transferred and food can be easily cooked. But to just hold them, if we will hold them directly, then our hand will burn out. So to just save it from burning, we are giving it a handle that is made up of the wooden handle, because wood is bad conductor of heat. So heat will not be transferred, our hand will be saved from that one. The second application is here. In winter, the metallic handle of the wooden door appear colder. So as in winter season, you know, the temperature gets lower. So due to lower temperature, again the metallic handle that you can see as in that one also, the heat will be transferred from higher to lower body, and the metallic handle of the door, that will become at also lower temperature and it will appear as cold. So due to transfer of heat from higher temperature to lower temperature, because the wooden metallic frame that is at higher temperature, system is in lower temperature, heat will be transferred, and due to that one it becomes cool even, and it is felt that colder. Now third one, a new quilt is warmer than the old one. So reason is that as in the new quilt, the enclosure, there is the enclosure of large amount of air in that one, and air is very bad conductor of heat. So due to bad conductor of heat, the surrounding heat or surrounding temperature, that doesn't affect to inside temperature, and that's why inside temperature can be maintained and we are feeling warmer. But whenever that become cool, the heat, air that is enclosed in that air becomes very small in quantity, and due to that one easily we are feeling cold from that kind of birds. Next one, in winters, if birds we will see that is often swell their feathers. So reason is that why they are swelling their feathers. Whenever they will swell their feathers, then in that one the air that will be enclosed in their body. So due to enclosement of their body, air is enclosed, air is bad conductor of heat, that will not allow to pass through heat through this one. So the body heat that will be maintained, and that will air will not allow the pass the body heat to the surrounding, because surrounding is at lower temperature, body is at higher temperature, heat will be transferred from higher to lower, but this, our air that will not allow to pass through. It is also said that if you will use 2 layers of any woolen shawl in comparison to 1 layer, then it will be warmer. So in between 2 layers, as air starts to be fill up, and that air as it is again bad conductor of heat, and due to that one it will not allow to pass the heat energy, and it will be more warmer in comparison to the single layer. Now I think this is all you can understand easily, where we are utilizing the knowledge of thermal conductivity in our daily life, or we are seeing a lot of animals and other ones, we are also just doing it by natural process, but the reason behind that one you can understand it. Now students, after this one, the next thing that we have to study, that is the concept of Newton's law of cooling. So I just give you just a small description about the Newton's law of cooling in this class, and in next class we will discuss in detail about that one. So first, what is the Newton's law of cooling? It is simple, as we have seen in our common experience. Whenever you are taking any hot tea or cup of coffee, you can see after some times that become cold. So reason why it starts to be cold, reason is that the heat is transferred from hot to cold body, and this is that's why our system becomes cold, and we are feeling our tea becomes cold. So this is now this is what that is explained by Newton's, how the things, how the liquid, how the system becomes cool. So that is now explained by the Newton's law of cooling. We will even perform an experiment that is performed by Newton to understand this cooling effect by the system. So we will see that also in our next class. So I think students, first of all, as in general, if you will see, so with time, if we will see the transfer of heat, or with time, if cooling we will see in system, or that is start to be greater, because if a hotter any of the hotter vessel you are shaking, even you are touching it that time, then you feel it more hot than in comparison to after some time. So means time by time the cooling effect that increases, but the heating effect that starts to decrease. So the relationship between time and the heat, that is heat of any system, that is can be plotted, and that has always an inverse relationship. Means with time always the temperature that starts to decrease, and due to decrement in temperature we are feeling there is the cooling effect that is generated. So this is the way in which the cooling process that is worked, and that is related to temperature or heat, because as temperature start to decrease, then there will is decrement starts to also in heat that is felt by our sensation, and we are feeling it cool there. Now students, I think whatever we have discussed, that is clear, means the concept about the thermal conductivity and the transfer of heat, that is both very clear to you. So let's end our class here with this discussion. Next of the things we will discuss in next class. So thank you students. Let's discuss all the things in next class.